Absolutely. Let's move on to, well, because that was Raw, right? So there's nothing else to
Yeah,
talk
dude, that was
about.
it. That was it.
So our next segment, high spots and low shots. And my low shot, you know what? I'm going to say my low shot is Brie Bella.
I like it.
Yeah, you know what? Had her sister betray her, didn't get any answers, any sort of comeuppance. Instead, got slapped literally on, in the face, but landed on her ass. That was the force of the slap. And doesn't even try to rally back. She just runs to the back in tears. So a horrible night. Brie mode certainly was off. And yeah, just a really weak night for Brie Bella.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, Ashton, who's your low shot?
Jack Swagger.
Nice, nice.
He lost his manager, he lost his match, he lost his pride, and most importantly, he lost his feud to the largest Olympian in the world.
You know what? I am a little surprised, even though I wholeheartedly agree with your pick. I thought one of us, and the only reason I didn't was because I really thought you were, pick Dean Ambrose, because I know he had a rough night as well. But you know what?
Yeah, but how can you really call him the low shot when he had the best segment of the night with the whole ice bucket thing?
That is true. It may have ended with his face being driven into cinder blocks and carried away on a stretcher, which I'm sorry, even when the injuries are legitimate, just something about WWE and stretchers is just comical to me. But yeah, at least not only did Ambrose get that on Rollins and deliver a great match where he would have had it won if it wasn't for excessive interference, but at least multiple times, but at least he didn't get verbally dressed down by Bo Dallas. And I love Bo. That's not even a knock, but seriously, when you're told to Bo leave,
insult to injury, man.
Yeah, when you're told to Bo leave, that's some serious reassessment that needs to go on right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? The more I talk myself out of it and talk to you about it, I could see why Ambrose wasn't either one of our low shots, despite the fact that he did have a very rough ending to the night. He at least went out with a bigger bang than Jack freaking Swagger.
Yeah.
So, which brings me to the high spot. Now this one's a bit more difficult for me, but you know what? You know what? My high spot, I think, is going to be Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
Okay, that's acceptable. I like that.
Yeah, because you know what? Paul Heyman cut a great promo. John Cena wasn't even in the building tonight because of the damage that Lesnar did a night prior. So not only was Heyman able to deliver this really braggadocious, hyped up promo to Brock Lesnar as the champion, nobody even had the grapefruits to step up and cut him off. He delivered the entire thing uninterrupted, and they left of their own power. I mean, if that's not the legitimacy of a heel champion, to be able to revel in their own moment of glory without even one interruption, that's ridiculous. These guys, had a terrific night tonight.
Absolutely. And my high spot, are you ready for this, John?
I'm ready. I'm intrigued.
Mark Henry.
Wow. I like it, though. I like it.
Because not only was he on the winning team in the tag team match that he participated in, but he ended up getting the pin thanks to the World's Strongest Slam. And then he picked up the feud that we've been referring to as the hottest feud in the WWE thanks purely to crowd reaction against Rusev. So he's now going to go from not even being around to randomly having a tag team with the Big Show to being one of the top 3 to 5 most over baby faces in the company.
It is so good to see Mark Henry in this role again. So refreshing. You and I are big fans of his work when he really gets into a program. I am always a little tentative anymore because as he gets up in age and, notching more years for his career, the injury proneness and things like that.
See, but that's my thing, dude. He's working with Rusev, and Rusev hurts nobody.
Yeah, that's true. I think this is one program that will be allowed to go from pillar to post, so to speak, from beginning to end, and I think it could be very worthwhile. Again, this is coming from me, the guy that was putting all of his eggs in the basket of a Rusev-Sheamus feud for the United States Championship, but I think, you know what, maybe WWE thinks Rusev just needs one more victory before we go there, and who better to beat than Mark Henry, who arguably had one of the most dominant World Heavyweight Championship reigns when he held the gold. So it's going to make Rusev look like $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to sound terrible, but I wouldn't mind seeing, and the only reason that it's not ever going to happen is because Brock only works pay-per-views, but I think it would be awesome, just from a booking standpoint, to have Rusev versus Brock and Mark Henry versus Brock leading up to the pay-per-view just to prove just how dominant Brock is, but then you could also kind of judge who you think is going to win between those two guys depending on how much of a fight they put up against Brock. Because right now, like, I don't even want to call Brock Lesnar the WWE champion. Brock Lesnar is the final boss in the WWE.
Yeah, he really is. I think he earned that moniker. I think he transcended merely being called a champion when he ragdolled John Cena.
Yeah, like,
John Cena.
and not only did he ragdoll John Cena, he ragdolled the Big Show earlier this year too.
Yeah.
And if you want to be perfectly blunt, he ragdolled the Undertaker too.
Yeah. And the thing about John Cena, though, is that we always expect him to, like, rally from behind. That was even something you said in live reactions.
Yeah.
When Cena got the first AA. When Lesnar got the first F5, you said, well, this makes me think, is Cena going to rally? Nope. Like, there was no rallying to be done. Lesnar just stayed on him the entire time. And then when Cena thought he would have gotten the win, Lesnar sits up and just laughs. Okay. You know what? It's like we were joking about with Seth Rollins. He's looking at the bench. He's like, what, you expect me to cash in on that? You take it. Like, I wouldn't want any part of Brock Lesnar. I don't care if I was on the biggest winning streak of my life and I was practically being pleaded to take my title match. I'd refuse it. Lesnar's a one-way ticket to a hospital bed, or worse, a freaking morgue. Like, he is the final boss.
Yeah, he really is. So, I don't know. I just think it would be interesting if they had a feud where both guys in the feud went against Lesnar just to kind of test how good they've gotten. You know what I mean? Because like whenever you are playing a video game with friends and you come up against some like super unbeatable force, it's never really about beating that force. It's just about being better at getting close to beating that force than your friend is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that they could do something like that in WWE. Now, granted, they never will. And again, the reason behind that is just because even if they decided they wanted to, Brock doesn't work Raw matches, so it wouldn't happen anyway. But I just think it would be interesting, and it's like a nice little thought exercise, I guess you could call it.
Absolutely. And well, I guess I'll save that for my next segment, but do you have anything else you want to say about your high spot?
Get into it, baby.
All right, our next segment, Raw Request. And, my Raw Request, it's like I was saying earlier, if there was ever a time to really put emphasis on your mid-card championships, it is now. Lesnar is a prize fighter. He is not a guy who is going to face anybody. And not only that, he's not a guy who's just going to work with anybody on any given stage. He's very particular in every aspect. He's only going to face the best competition for the best payouts. That's how Lesnar operates. So knowing this, we've got to make our mid-card champion seem more worthwhile, considering that there is, as there should be, at least in my opinion, I'm still in favor of it, one world champion. Dolph is your Intercontinental Champion. He is an amazing babyface, gets consistently great reactions, has the charisma. Everybody backstage seems to love him. I know Arn Anderson was speaking very highly of him only a few weeks ago in an interview I read. And Sheamus is your U.S. Champion. And when you want Sheamus to dominate, I mean, he will. He'll go on that dominant streak, and he'll look untouchable. I think you have two of the perfect representatives. Let's make these championships seem more worthwhile, even if Sheamus was to drop it to Rusev in my grand hypothetical, and we just have now Rusev and Ziggler as our respective champions. I think my point still stands. Now is the time to make these mid-card titles look just a little bit more main event than ever before, I think, because of how Lesnar's going to work as champion, or at least how it's presumed how he's going to work as champion. So that's my Raw request.
I like it. I'll sign on to that. My Raw request is a lot simpler than that. My Raw request is simply for the commentary to actually commentate the match rather than bickering with each other.
That is probably the most straightforward and simplest Raw request that we've ever produced. I mean, it's really not that difficult. Your commentators commentate. And by commentate, we mean, bring it back to the in-ring product. Not the shenanigans you guys are doing with each other. Not this, that, or the other. But the product. I'm very old school like that. See, that's why I still find myself, even when I disagree with Jim Ross, still respecting his opinion in wrestling. Probably more than anybody else's. Because, I grew up on his commentary and I just love that style. And Cole, I think, does give a sincere effort. But JBL and Lawler, man. Especially JBL, I'd say, is the worst of that. Just really needs to learn how to refocus. So I love your Raw request. I will co-sign on to that as well. So with that said, is there anything else you want to say about this Raw?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, okay. Well, then what's that?
Well, John,
Like, yeah.
what? What were you gonna say?
Well, that was
Like
your Raw request,
freaking
so I
out.
know it's not that. So, yeah. What do you want to say about this Raw?
Well, you seem to have forgotten, and we did both. We both forgot last week, but I'm not gonna let it pass for another week. There was something that we always did on our Smackdown TWitWows that
Oh,
I would hate to get thrown out the window just because we stopped reviewing SmackDown.
son of a mother. All right, yeah,
30
yeah.
second hot seat.
Son of a. All right. Come on, come at me. You think you got it? I can do this all day. What is it? Bring it on.
There are 5 different championships in the WWE, John.
You're damn right there is.
All 5 of them are going to be defended at Night of Championships, or at Night of Champions.
Okay.
Who are going to be the 5 challengers?
I don't like you right now.
You have 30 seconds. Your time starts, wait for it, now.
Okay, Brock Lesnar, John Cena because of rematch clause. Dolph Ziggler, Miz because of ambiguous finish tonight on Raw. Usos, tag team turmoil okay, I'll at least name 5 teams to be fair. Ryback, Soul, RVD and Sheamus, Ascension.
No, you can't say Sheamus.
I will say Sheamus will double book him. Ziggler's been double booked before. Nobody's exempt. So RVD, Sheamus, Gold Star, and did I say Ascension? If I did say Ascension, then Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and if I didn't say Ascension, 6 team would be Ascension. Sheamus, U.S. Championship. Oh, God, who would it be? Who would it be? Who would it be? Who would it be? God. Skip that. Paige, AJ. I already said tag titles. So U.S. is the only one left. God. I can't say Rusev because of Mark Henry. I don't know, okay? You beat me finally. I don't know who Sheamus is going to defend the U.S. title against. It's awful.
John, I want you
Absolutely
to know,
awful.
I beat you 30 seconds ago. You took a minute.
What? Well, then why didn't you stop me, man?
Because I wanted to hear your whole answer.
I don't know for Sheamus. I don't know for Sheamus. Yeah, I really don't. Because, again, you know I was banking on Rusev. And I don't think that's happening now because of Mark Henry. So,
I think Sheamus is going to defend his title against Randy Orton.
you know what? Just to throw a name out there, I don't think Randy Orton. Cause I like you. I'm going to use that
We
same.
might even get a triple threat: Sheamus, Orton, Reigns.
I don't think so. As badass as that idea sounds, because of my Raw request, I still agree with your line of thinking. Orton, Reigns, because they were feuding, but it kind of started and stopped, and those are Sheamus's words, not even mine. I'll say Cesaro, just to put a name out there.
Okay, I
Cesaro
like that. I do like that.
Yeah. So that's the full card. Man, that was hard though. I knew you were gonna get me, whatever it was, especially because we haven't done these in a while. So yeah, I gracefully accept defeat. That was pretty impressive. But with that said, I'm gonna ask again. So do you have anything else you want to say about this Raw?
No.
Okay, neither do I. It was excellent, especially that main event, which I urge everybody to check out, especially because of what it could lead to in the future. So, with that said, this has been Raw. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort in commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. Discuss on Tweetov, and very quickly, congratulations to the newbies, Seth Morgan and Kevin Silva, for taking our tag titles away from us. But TakeOver 2 is a thing, and we will be 2-time champions. But for the time being, congratulations, you guys earned it. And with that said, guys, we will see you again for our NXT review, where not only will we see the fallout of the controversial NXT Heavyweight Championship match between Adrian Neville and Tyler Breeze last week, we will see the continuation of the NXT Tag Team Championship Tournament, which sees Sin Cara and Kalisto taking on Adam Rose and Sami Zayn. It's gonna be good. We'll see you there, guys. Peace.